Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're journeying into ancient Egypt. We're going to explore a figure whose name, well, it could bring comfort, but also real terror. Anubis. How does one deity manage that, embodying such, seemingly opposite roles? Feared judge, but also trusted guide.
It's a fascinating paradox.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unravel this, drawing straight from the sources you've provided us. We want to understand the power, the significance of Anubis, way beyond just that iconic jackal head image.
Yeah.
We've got funerary texts, scholarly takes, even some archaeological notes to piece it all together. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's really compelling right from the start, like you hinted, is how those first impressions just scream complexity. When one of our sources, this essay called The Whisper in the Dark, describes him as a name that inspires a profound sense of awe and dread, it's not just painting him as, scary.
Right.
It's pointing directly to what the source calls the dual nature of Anubis. He is profoundly feared, and he's deeply respected.
Both at once.
Yes, and The Whisper really emphasizes, it says, the balance is key. It's not one or the other, it's both, simultaneously defining him. And throughout this deep dive, I think we'll see how every single role he plays guiding souls, judging them, it all weaves back into this core theme, balance and transformation.
That's crucial.
It's a really powerful starting point, much more nuanced than you might first think.
It really is. It suggests a deity who isn't just, good or bad. He's operating on a much more complex level, a fundamental force, really.
Definitely.
So beyond that initial impression, it's his active role in the afterlife that really cements how important he was. And here's where it gets really compelling, I think. The sources show he wasn't just some distant symbol. He had a very specific job, a hands-on job. For instance, this ancient funerary text we're calling the embrace of death, it puts it very plainly. He leads those to the afterlife. It is a serious matter.
Serious matter, yeah.
It's not just pointing the way, right? This feels like a sacred duty. So what does that tell us about how ancient Egyptians saw things? That a god had such a serious, foundational role in guiding souls on that final journey.
Well, it tells us that the journey after death wasn't seen as passive at all. It was an ordeal, a dangerous trip through a complex, often hostile place, the duat. The embrace of death, stressing a serious matter, makes sense because, well, other texts back this up. The deceased faced real threats, trials.
So Anubis wasn't just a map.
Exactly. He was the main escort, the one ensuring the soul actually made it through okay. And this guidance role, it's tied directly to his protective side. Another source we have, these ritual prayers called the Protector's Shield, states it clearly. He protects, they respect.
Protects and leads.
Right. And if you connect that to the specific dangers mentioned in texts, like devourers, hostile spirits, tricky paths in the underworld, his guidance becomes active protection. He's not just showing the path, he's like fending off dangers, making sure the spiritual body stays whole. This mix of leading and shielding, it must have instilled trust in the dead, obviously, but also this profound sense of his authority among the living. And maybe even a kind of, dark comfort.
Yeah, I can see that.
He was the one you definitely wanted with you on that trip.
So not just the navigator, he's the security detail for the biggest trip ever. That act protection really does elevate his role.
It does.
But he wasn't finished there, was he? The sources also put him in an even more formidable position, beyond just protection. The scholarly analysis we're calling the judge and guide declares, in one figure, the ultimate authority. That shifts things, doesn't it? From helpful escort to the final decider of your fate.
Absolutely.
What were the implications of that? Ritually? Socially? A deity holding ultimate authority over where your soul ends up.
That transition from guide and protector to judge is, it's critical. It basically shapes the entire ancient Egyptian moral and spiritual world.
How so?
This is where balancing the scales comes in, a key theme laid out in the judge and guide. It referred to that iconic scene, right? The Hall of Two Truths.
The weighing of the heart.
Precisely. Anubis presiding over the weighing of the deceased heart against the feather of Ma'at. She's the goddess of truth, cosmic order. And it's crucial to get this. This wasn't just symbolic judgment for them. It was believed to be a real, tangible event.
Oh, you determined everything.
Everything. Whether your soul got eternal bliss in the field of reeds or, oblivion. Eaten by Amit, the devourer.
Oof. High stakes.
Extremely high. The judge and guide really stresses this act as the peak of his awe-inspiring power. The fear comes from how absolute his judgment is. No wiggle room. Your heart had to be light, free from sin.
But there's respect, too, you said.
Yes, the respect comes from his total impartiality,
Yeah.
the cosmic justice he embodies. There's no arguing, no deals, just the truth of your life laid bare. And it raises a big question for us, What kind of society develops when its whole spiritual framework hinges on this imminent, unwavering judgment by a god like Anubis?
It must have created a deeply ethical focus in life. Knowing your actions weren't just seen, they'd be literally weighed on a cosmic scale. That fosters a profound sense of accountability.
That's a really powerful point. It makes Anubis not just a figure you deal with after death, but a constant moral compass while you're alive.
Exactly.
The idea that your deeds would be weighed, your heart on the scale, that's an incredibly strong motivator for living ethically. It connects everyday life directly to eternal consequences.
It really does.
Okay, so we've covered his actions, guiding, protecting, and judging. Now let's shift a bit. Let's look beyond those direct jobs to the deeper symbolic meaning. Beyond these crucial tasks, how does Anubis become more? How does he become this profound symbol of transformation, like one essay puts it, representing the journey itself?
That's a great question.
And how does that representation of the journey, how does it still resonate? Even today, with our own ideas about change, endings, new starts, I think he resonates deeply because transformation is it's part of being human, isn't it? We're always on journeys, physical, emotional, spiritual, always facing endings and beginnings.
True.
Anubis, as the symbol of transformation, he kind of embodies the ultimate journey, that passage from one state of being to another, life to death, and then into whatever spiritual existence comes next. His role in guiding souls, helping with mummification, presiding over judgment, it's all facilitating that huge metamorphosis.
Helping them change form, essentially.
Exactly. Shedding the earthly form, taking on the spiritual one, getting ready for eternity. And our archaeological notes, the studies of burial practices, we're calling that source an eternal symbol, they really highlight how lasting his symbolism was. He wasn't just remembered. His image, his roles, they stuck around for millennia.
Why do you think that is?
Because he spoke to a universal truth, I think. The necessity of transformation. And what's really key here is how his dual nature, being feared and respected, is absolutely vital to his power as a symbol of transformation.
The balance again.
Always the balance. The fear part acknowledges the scary stuff, right? The unknown, the loss, the finality of death. But the respect, that comes from the hope of safe passage, of a fair outcome, the promise of some kind of spiritual rebirth. That balance makes him incredibly relatable, even to our own journeys of change. It reminds us that even the toughest transitions have both fear and potential wrapped up in them. It makes him timeless, really, as an emblem for any major passage in life.
That duality, the fear and respect woven together, that really does seem to be the key to why he's so enduring, doesn't it?
I think so.
It grounds him in something so human, so universal. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear Anubis is so much more than just the god of the dead.
Much more.
He's the vital guide through that treacherous underworld, the Duat. He's the vigilant protector of the vulnerable soul. He's the ultimate authority in judgment, the impartial balancer of fate. And maybe most profoundly, he's this timeless symbol of transformation.
Yeah.
He held this awe-inspiring power, as the source calls it, that echoed through ancient Egypt, inspiring fear and respect, both in equal measure. That cemented his status as an eternal symbol, a real testament to how fascinated humans are, always have been, with the mysteries of life, death, and whatever lies beyond.
Indeed. And maybe something for you, our listener, to think about. Consider that enduring human need, maybe even today in our more secular world, for figures or ideas that help us navigate the unknown journeys. Life's big transitions, loss, major changes, even just trying to reinvent yourself. Anubis, with that balanced nature, fear and respect, judgment and guidance, he offers a really potent way to look at our own struggles, to find meaning in endings, in new beginnings, in all the transformations we go through.
It's a powerful lens.
It really is. These ancient symbols, like Anubis, they still offer deep insights into just fundamental human experiences. They remind us that these old stories, these narratives from thousands of years ago, often hold universal truths about change, about significance, and about the meaning we're all searching for in every kind of ultimate journey.